Hello, cult members. Welcome to Pop Culture Cult. This is Sean.
I'm Janice.
Happy #Cold Beer Sunday, and this is our review of the 1517 to Paris.
Right.
Now, this is kind of an interesting, different film than what you normally would get in the world. It's about a terrorist attack that happened on a train from Amsterdam to Paris a few years back, and there was 3 Americans that stopped the terrorist attack while on the train.
Yep.
I know I'm not going to put the spoiler thing up. It's all over the news.
Right.
And Clint Eastwood decided that he wanted to tell this story.
Yep.
And he decided to use the 3 guys who were actually the 3 guys who stopped the terrorist attack.
Yep.
They're not professional actors. Clint Eastwood told them, don't take acting classes. I just want you to be you.
Yep.
And so this movie was very different than what you would normally see from really a Clint Eastwood kind of serious film. I mean, it's a serious film, but also just the way the storytelling was done and everything was very different
Very
than
different.
what you normally do. So, so this is gonna be our review. What did you like about the movie?
I liked the guys saved the train and potentially a lot more people.
Yeah.
So
They say there's like the terrorist was carrying like 300 rounds or something
yeah,
like that.
and they showed that at one point where they were collecting all of his guns and ammo and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, it's a great story. I mean, yay you guys for saving the day.
Yeah, I thought what was being done, what they were trying to do, and having the real guys tell the story as the actors, I thought that was a kind of a cool way of doing it. Now, you can definitely tell they weren't professional actors,
Yes.
and they did a great job of doing everything on location. They're in Florence, they're in Amsterdam, they're in Berlin. They did a really good job with all of that, and I
Yeah.
thought that was really, really well done. And then the way it's just shot, because some of the stuff that happens at towards the end on the train, they're actually on a train. They didn't build some set. They actually filmed everything on the train.
Yeah.
And so getting the way that it was shot, where it was very intimate and close and everything, was just gave it a lot of tension and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Because, it's not like you can move around.
Right,
whole
you
lot
get
on a
like 1 or 2 camera angles, and that's about it,
Yeah.
right? And I did like that they try to tell the backstory of how the 3 of them, it's Alec, Anthony, and Spencer were the 3 guys.
Right.
And how they became friends and how they grew up, and then how they kind of ended up in Europe. And I liked how they told that story.
Yeah, and they focused mostly on Spencer. If you see the commercials, he's the one. He's blonde, although his hair is
It's really
super
short, yeah.
But he's the one that runs down the aisle
Yeah.
and tackles the guy. So they told it mostly from his side, but the 3 of them were buddies from
Right.
way back in
Middle
elementary school.
Yeah. I love them. The 3 of them obviously shouldn't have been in a Catholic school, religious. The 3 of them obviously shouldn't have been in a Catholic school, and that's actually where they all met. And
But they were there because they were troubled
kind of troublemakers, and
boys.
and having had kids that came up through the public school system, one of the things that they dealt with in the early part, which I think was funny, was the teacher trying to convince the parents to have their kids tested for ADD, and the parents' reaction was like, it was Judy Greer and Jenna
Irene.
Fisher.
Jenna Fisher.
And they were the single moms, and they were like, "We're not going to drug our kids, and we're not going to get them tested. The kids are ADD."
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they were just, boys.
Teenage boys.
I mean, we went through the same thing with our boys.
Yes. We have 3 boys, and they were all exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So now let's discuss some of the things that maybe we had a problem with the movie.
So I've tried to think about it. I get it. They weren't actors, but I felt like Clint Eastwood should have been able to tell a better story, and it felt
Yeah.
very disjointed. There were snippets of scenes of them backpacking through Europe, and the scenes felt like they were just there. They weren't
It almost felt like they were stretching the movie out to make it a little bit
longer.
longer to
Yeah.
get to the stuff that happens at the end. Because the stuff that happens in the end is only over like a 4 or 5 minute period. Really, the stuff that happens on the train when the
Yeah.
attack happens, it happens really quick. So you can't tell that story without filling in at least
Yeah,
some
and
stuff.
at the beginning they show a little bit of the train stuff, and then they go for
A
a,
really
a
long
long
time.
time, and
Yeah.
then they show a little bit more, and then they go for another really long time where they end up catching up to the point where
Yeah.
they get on the train, and it was like, I don't know. I just felt the storytelling was
It
I,
was odd. The storytelling was very odd.
not what I expect from a Clint Eastwood movie.
No, no. I actually really liked the three guys. I thought they did a really good job for no acting classes, nothing.
Yeah.
But
There were
uh,
some times when you were like,
it was rough.
it
It was
was
rough.
rough, but
However, the three kids that played the three boys, I really struggled with them. Um, there was times early in the movie when they were telling the story of them as the middle school kids, where I really struggled to stay with it. The
hmm,
and those kids might grow up and be great actors and whatever, but just the way the story was being sent out and told, and it was almost like it was edited, like scenes were edited too long. They weren't shortened up a little bit. It just it was
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
I just struggled with it.
yeah.
Um
There were some times where you were like, what are we do? Oh, and go.
and right. I I struggled too with the very middle part, and I think this is kind of what you're talking about with the storytelling. There felt like there was a bunch of extra scenes that just didn't need to be there. I don't care about the hot chick from California that was on the boat with them. Like
Yeah,
that whole segment when they were in Florence, I
she appeared and then she was gone.
gone, and there was really no like explanation to it. And the movie is based off the book that the three of them wrote,
Yeah,
and so they're telling the full story of everything. So if you're just if it works in a book format, but in a movie format, that kind of scene, that kind of storytelling doesn't really work, and maybe that's what
yeah.
it ends up being.
And the where were they? Greece or Italy? And the chick from the hotel.
Oh
That whole
yeah,
scene. There was a whole scene about them checking into a hotel.
a hostel. Yeah. It was just
For
yeah.
yeah, you're like, why are we watching this? I'm not sure I understand.
I don't.
Okay, they checked into a hotel.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset we saw it and we paid money. We didn't use our movie pass. We paid money to go see it, and I don't think that would change how I feel about the movie. I'm not mad that we saw it. I thought it's cool to see a different version of storytelling using people that were really involved with
Yeah,
real life events. I find that awesome.
yeah,
But I just think, and I don't think it's the guy's fault. I think it's more Clint Eastwood's fault
yeah. Me too.
about how just the story was ended up being told.
Yeah,
And I
me
think
too.
that's what comes down to.
Yep.
So overall, what's your score?
I'm gonna out of 5,
Right.
right? I'm gonna give it a 2, and mostly because you know they they saved the train. They got French medals of honor or
Yeah.
whatever, and they got a couple of them are in the service. Spencer and Alec are
Yeah.
in the service, so they got service medals, and then Anthony is not in the service, and he got some kind of
Secretary of
congressional
Defense
medal of honor.
honor medal or something like that. Yeah.
And so it's a big deal what they did, but yeah, the movie itself.
Yeah. I'm at a 2 as well. But I think I I I don't want to. It's really hard because it's a really hard watch because the story is so disjointed, and that kind of takes away from me the enjoyment of what these guys enjoyment's kind of a weird name, but that's
Appreciation. Yeah,
of what these
for what
guys
they
really
did.
did.
Yeah.
And I'm never gonna fault the guys for what they did, both being in this movie and what they did. It's people like that that help stop terrorism. I mean,
Yeah.
it's those guys who were not afraid to jump in when their life is the firemen who went up in the towers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. So it was cool that they did this, but the movie overall probably not the best effort that could have been done. So
Yeah.
that's unfortunately not they're all not winners. All right. So what do you guys think of the 1517 to Paris, and what did you feel could have been better or could have been worse or whatever? And what do you think of the three guys actually acting in the film that's about them, which I think would be weird when you're on the set, right? You're
Yeah, like
recreating that
you don't
whole
have
scene.
PTSD or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. So what do you guys think? Leave us a comment, like this video, and please subscribe to the channel while you're here. We're on our way to 200 subscribers. We're getting there one at a time, one at a time. You can get a hold of us too on Facebook at the Pop Culture Cult. We're Pop Culture Cult 1 on Instagram, and we're at Pop_Cult1 on Twitter. We're also on the Stardust app. We've been Stardust in a whole bunch of stuff lately, including the 1517 of Paris. So if you want to get like little 30-second reviews of what we're watching, including the magicians, follow us there too. Until next time, happy #Cold Beer Sunday. Good morning now.